All right, hello everyone. Good evening.
Good evening.
All right, this is an English class designed for students who are thinking about pursuing academic studies in English, like at a community college or university. And this course is designed to teach content vocabulary. So, for example, tonight our lesson topic is going to be about climates around the world. So this should prepare students. It's a content course where they're going to learn vocabulary, and then they're going to learn how to use that vocabulary when speaking. So this is a course that is designed to teach students, like I said, content vocabulary so they can be prepared for content courses in any college or community college. Like, let's say they want to brush up on their English in order to pursue academic studies in English. So today we're going to be learning about climates around the world. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with all of you, and we are going to learn about the different climates of the world. So I have my sheet right here, and I'm going to share it with you. 1 second. All right, here it is. Okay, can everybody see this? All right. Okay, so right here we have an image of the entire world, and you notice that on the continents we have all these different pretty colors right here. Okay, each color represents a specific climate depending on where the country or continent is located. All right, so we have 9 different climates that we're going to focus on today. Oh, I don't know why the cursor's not working. Oh, here we go. So we have 9 different climates that we're going to focus on today. So first is tropical wet. Okay, so tropical wet is a climate where they have hot temperatures and heavy rain all year round, and it is represented by this green color right here. Okay, so if I move up here, so you can see parts of Brazil have this climate, and parts of Africa on the equator have this climate. So this climate normally exists in places that are located near or right on the equator. Right over here, you can see these islands have it. Okay, and just north and south of that, we have this gray color, which is a tropical wet and dry climate. So and that means that they have summers, that their summers are very wet, but their winters are drier. So places like Brazil, most of Brazil have this climate, and places in South Africa have this climate. And I studied abroad in Costa Rica one summer. It rained every single afternoon. And so Costa Rica has a tropical wet and dry climate. And then the next one down here is humid subtropical. And these are places that get year-round precipitation, so they get rain all year round. And their winters are mild. So mild means not too cold, just a little warmer than what you would expect in the winter. And their summers are very hot. So humid subtropical is represented by this color right here, this kind of peachy orange color. And Southeast United States has that climate. Places, southern China has it right here, and parts of the southern cone in South America has it right here. Okay, and the next climate we're going to go over is Mediterranean, and they call it like that because it refers to, because countries around the Mediterranean Sea have this climate. So Mediterranean climate, like I said, are countries around surrounding the Mediterranean Sea, like Italy, Spain, southern France, and far northern Africa, parts of the Middle East, right here. And we also have a Mediterranean climate. The coastal California, central California southward, we have a Mediterranean climate. And what that means is that our summers are hot and dry, as we know, and we get a short rain season in the winter. Okay, I'm going to scroll down here. Now, a maritime continent is when it is wet all year round with mild winters and cool summers. So you have winters that are not too cold and summers that are not too hot. Okay. So a maritime climate would be places like Seattle, France, and Portland, Oregon. And continental climate is when they have precipitation all year round. Their summers are warm and their winters are very, very cold. So the continental climate right here, underneath that category, we have humid continental and subarctic. So these are places like Moscow, Russia, and northern Canada right here, and most of Alaska, most of Siberia, Russia. Okay. And the subarctic climate, and again, it falls under the category of continental. So the subarctic, which is even further north, like it's the light purple right here. So they get limited precipitation, cool summers, and the winters are very cold, very frigid. Okay, now the tundra climate is like far North Pole, like in the poles right here, or just close to the poles. So tundra is way over here, way up north near Greenland. And that kind of climate is basically a cold desert. So you know how you're all familiar with deserts, like in Arizona, the Sahara Desert, where they get very little rain. Well, those deserts are hot deserts. And a tundra is like a cool desert or cold desert, where they get very little precipitation, very little rain, very little snow. And this climate, like I said, is close to the poles, close to the ice caps or permanent sheets of ice covering land or sea. And their summers are cool. Their summers are not too bad. They're not hot, not too cold, but their summers are kind of pleasant, but their winters are very, very cold, extremely frigid. And arid is a word used to describe extremely dry areas and deserts like what you see in Africa right here. So the Sahara Desert is considered an arid climate right here. All right. Okay, so we have a communicated practice activity, which we will do after this next one here. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can pull up my own handout, which is handout B. All right, and you all have handout A. All right. Okay, so you will notice on handout A, your climate is missing, but your place name is not. So what we're going to do here is we're going to try to find missing information. So in the left column, you have the name of a climate. Actually, I think I better share my screen again so you can see handout A. I won't show you mine. Okay, right here. All right, so this is handout A. This is what you should all have right here, okay? All right, so you'll notice we have two columns here. We have a left column and a right column. And under the left column, we see name of climate. So underneath, you have a list of climates, and some of them are missing, and it's our job to find the missing climates, okay? And in the right column, we have a list of place names in the world, okay? Some of them are missing as well. So for item number one, we see that our climate is missing. But to the right over here, we see a place named Dallas, Texas. And Dallas is a city in the state of Texas, which is a state in the USA. All right. And we have to find the kind of climate. Okay, I'll give you hints if you need it. Okay. So again, this is normally a guided practice where we would do it in groups, and some groups would have handout A and the other group would have handout B. But because of the situation we're in, it's unfortunately more of a controlled practice. But like I said, we'll be doing a communicative activity after this. Okay. So for number 1, our place is Dallas, Texas. Okay. So what kind of climate do you think would be in Dallas, Texas? What do you think of when you think of Texas?
Humid subtropical. I've
Humid-
been to Dallas.
You've been to
in the
Dallas.
summer.
Okay, good job, Anne. Yes, you are correct.
Can I write that in?
Go ahead.
So for number 2, should I take a turn and ask someone? Should I say Jorge or Shalyn?
Sure, but they don't have their
Oh, okay. So do you want me to ask a name of the place? Because we all have the climate, right?
yes, you all have the climate, but you don't have the place name.
Okay.
Yeah.
So should I ask everyone what would be a tropical, wet, and dry place?
Yes, and I'll give you hints, okay? So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to give you hints here, okay? All right.
I can look at the map.
Well, yeah, you can go ahead and look at the map. So, all right, so
Would that be like Costa Rica?
okay, so yes, you are correct. Costa Rica was the answer for that, but what place in Costa Rica? What city? Can you think of a city in Costa Rica? It's the capital. I studied there.
Gosh, San Jose?
Uh-huh, good job, San Jose.
Okay.
All right.
Should we ask, do you want us to ask a question like Barrow, Alaska?
Yeah, so actually, yeah, for Barrow, Alaska, what climate do you think would go under that one? And I'd like other people to participate here as well, so not just Anne.
I just want you to know I've been there before.
You have, okay. All right.
I've actually been to where the pipeline has started. So it's pretty close. Yeah.
All right.
And I dipped my feet in the Arctic Ocean.
Oh, how was
But anyways, I'll be quiet. It's Jorge or Shalyn's turn to answer.
it? Okay.
What kind of, okay.
All right, Barrow, Alaska. What climate does that fall under?
I can't hear you guys. Do you have them on mute?
Oh, I might. Let me unmute them.
Sorry.
There.
Where do I see the names? I don't see it on the map.
Oh, I purposely,
Common
you
sense.
know what? Again, I did not, I apologize. You know what? I apologize. I should have included cities that were on the map. I purposely did not because I wanted students to find it themselves, you know, to kind of get them to be proactive. So that's what I would do if this were a real class. But, all right, so I think what I'm gonna do now.
Sorry, just because I haven't prepared, so.
Oh,
Tundra. Yeah, it is
good job,
tundra.
Jorge. Good job, Jorge. All right, so like I said, yeah, I wanted the students to be proactive by finding cities that were not on the map and then locating them on the map that I provided for you all on the handout. All right, so you are correct. It is tundra. Okay.
Where do I see Jorge's answer?
He just held it up for you.
Yeah, he held up a sign.
Yeah,
Shalyn.
that's it, tundra.
Okay.
Yeah. So go ahead and write that in. All right. Your next.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Your next climate is Mediterranean, and it is a place in France, but I'm not going to tell you the place name. I want you to see if you can guess. And it's in southern France, Mediterranean climate.
Marseille. I don't know much about France. Monaco? South France.
Oh, South France. Okay, I'll give you the answer.
That's great.
Yeah, maybe I should share my screen again. Yeah, like I said, since I didn't know how many people were going to show up to my class tonight, I only gave you all one handout. So again, normally I would give some students handout A and others handout B, and you would find your answers together.
Mhm.
So yeah,
So South France. So what city is that?
Aix-en-Provence. I'll share my screen and you can find it.
Okay.
Okay. So right here, yeah, Aix-en-Provence, and you can,
Oh, okay. Oh, that's very fancy.
yeah. So you can see the answers here, and we'll quickly finish it up right now, and then we'll move on to the communicative practice. Okay. Next one is human continental.
Humid continental.
Yes.
What is humid continental?
Yeah.
Oh, that's like our Midwest area of the United States, right?
Mm-hmm. Nah, Midwest, yeah, bit further north, but humid continental, yeah, it's a place in Canada. The place that I put down is
Oh,
so
Okay.
oh, Quebec. Very nice.
yes, Montreal is what the answer is. So
Wow, Harriet, you're really sharp.
yeah, it's Montreal. It's in the province of Quebec, but it's the
Okay.
city that I put down is Montreal.
Very nice. How'd you
Mhm.
know that?
Yeah. So again, like I said, since um again I didn't know how many people were going to show up, I only gave you one handout. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share the rest of my answers with you, and then we'll move on to the communicative practice.
Sure.
So I'll share my screen again, and you can see handout B and write down the answers, okay? All right. Okay, so as you can see right here, so you have the missing climates and the missing
Oh,
places.
Phoenix.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that is very arid and dry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very hot in the summertime. I went there one time for a clog dancing competition, and it's an oven outside, but you still need, so it seems like, taking a sweater or a jacket with you is pointless, but inside, like restaurants, stores, they keep it cold like a fridge.
Yeah.
So, because it's so hot outside. So you want to, if you ever go to Arizona, you may want to take a sweatshirt or a jacket with you so that you're warm indoors. Okay? So you can see all the names of the climates and the names of the places that you were missing.
Mhm.
Again, I would have given this handout to other students if this was a real class. So again, I'm new to online teaching and Zoom. So what I think I would have done let's say if I learn more about this later on and decide to do this activity in a real class, then I would separate students in breakout rooms and give some handout A and others handout B. And if I had a regular class
Yeah.
coming regularly, then it would have been a lot easier to do this activity. It would have run a lot more smoothly.
Mhm.
So
The concept is fine.
okay,
It's
yeah, I just wanted to show you all the concept.
Mhm.
Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to share another handout with you. So we're going to move on to the communicative practice. So when I introduced the vocabulary, that was a controlled activity, and the information gap would have been in a guided practice activity if we had a regular class with students coming in regularly, and I would have, like I said, given some of them handout A and others handout B. That would have been a guided practice. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of, we're going to try to, I'm going to give you a scenario, and I'm going to assign a particular climate type to each of you. Okay, and you're going to answer these questions, and we're going to discuss out loud. Okay, so the communicated practice activity is, imagine that you are going on a 2-week adventure in a particular climate. You are to discuss and answer the following questions. So you're going to answer, what type of clothing items would you bring? What kind of weather conditions might you expect? What kinds of problems might you encounter and why? And how might you solve those problems? Okay, so in reference to question number 2, so this lesson that I'm presenting right now is taken from my unit plan on weather and climate. And at some point in that lesson, I explain to the class the difference between the terms weather and climate. Weather refers to short-term conditions that are happening now. So let's say California, for example, it's a sunny state, but sometimes we do get rain, but that doesn't make us a wet state. So that is, so the rain that we get, when we get it, is the weather, okay? Now our climate is dry. Climate refers to the long term. So weather refers to short-term phenomena, and climate refers to trends that happen over a long period of time, okay? All right, so now I'm going to, which do you prefer? Do you prefer that I assign you a climate, or would you rather choose? But I don't want 2 of you to have the same climate. I want each of you to have a different one.
Well, Candace, but how, do you think the 3 of us could discuss one climate together so we're interact together?
Oh, okay, let's do it that way then. Perfect, good idea, Anne.
Okay.
All right, so let's decide on a climate. Do you want me to choose, or should we take a vote?
You just choose us one.
All right, how about, okay, I am going to pick a subarctic climate, just for laughs. So
Okay.
subarctic is here. It's represented by this lavender color. It's up here, Siberia, Russia,
Oh,
parts of
okay.
Canada, most of Alaska.
Mhm.
So right up in here. All right, so a subarctic climate is what I've chosen for all of you. Okay, so I want all 3 of you to speak out, okay?
Okay.
All right. So what types of clothing items would we bring if we were to
Okay.
go there?
Well, hey, Shalyn and Jorge, if we're talking about the winter,
Shulin is muted. Unmute yourself, Shulin. I'll unmute her. Okay, I unmute. Oh,
Got
yeah,
it.
I unmuted her. Okay, so we've all decided, Shulin, on the subarctic climate.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
So we're going to answer questions based on that. So we're going to imagine we are going on a 2-week adventure to some place where they have a subarctic climate. And we are going,
Waterproof gloves.
gloves, okay.
gloves.
Beanie.
And what?
What is that?
Beanie.
A beanie?
Oh, beanie.
Yeah.
Ah, okay, a
Probably
beanie.
2 layers.
Yeah, layers. You would want to dress in layers. Okay.
Also, I do know, because I have friends who lived up there year round, you may want to bring up, because the days are very short, there's very little light. You want to have a flashlight or a head flashlight on your head.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yes.
What did you say?
Oh,
And
Jorge,
then there's those
you should
smart
speak
socks.
out.
What does that
Yeah,
say?
you should, yeah. Jorge, I'm glad that you're oh, you can't hear?
Yeah, we can't get his.
We cannot hear you, huh?
Yeah, we cannot hear
Oh,
him.
parka. He says parka.
Parka,
I
yeah,
see.
parka, snowshoes.
Snowshoes. That's smart. Yeah.
Yeah,
snowshoes.
I like how he's making a list, but I would like him to speak out, but is he having technical difficulties?
I'm guessing because we can't hear him.
Oh, we can. And I didn't mute him, so
Yeah.
yeah, so he's not muted.
So, okay, so because the kind of conditions, Candace, we might expect, I know it's you can get up to 40 degrees below zero. I have heard
Oh.
that. However, up at that area, it's not as wet as it is. It's a little bit drier snow. That's what they
Yes.
tell you.
Yes.
I used to work up there during the summer, so I heard about it from all the friends that live there year round. That's how I know about it.
So you mean it's not that cold as if it was wet?
Yeah, so what they said is up in that area, it's actually a dry cold. It's not as, there's just not as much moisture as there is in Anchorage. So they would always say, oh, yeah, but still, even in 40 degrees below zero, like my girlfriend, her ears got frostbitten. And
Hear me?
Are her ears okay? Did they?
Good, good.
they became red. They're permanently red. Yeah. It was during college when you're.
Oh, but she didn't have to have them cut off or
No,
removed?
no,
Oh,
no.
praise the Lord.
Hi, Jorge.
Hi. Okay, good. Now you can
Oh,
hear me.
good. Good we can hear
What
you.
happened?
I don't know. I think I used myself.
Oh, that's great. I know a lot of buttons. I don't know if you heard, but I have friends who grew up there, and so they're telling me about how it was and how there's only like 3 hours of sunlight at all during the. So you would want a flashlight or some headlight on your head,
Okay.
I wouldn't want it.
and smart socks and earmuffs and all that.
Earmuff, parka.
Mm-hmm.
snow
Parka. Mm-hmm.
What is
Uh,
parka?
Oh, I know. Thermal underwear.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
parka. Yeah, parka is like a very heavy jacket or very heavy coat. And
Right.
sometimes it has fur around it. So if you see Eskimos, if you see pictures of Eskimos, you'll notice they have a very heavy coat on made of fur, and they have fur around their heads like this.
Heavy.
Yeah, very heavy because it's so cold. All right. Okay, let's move on to question 2. What kind of weather conditions might we expect up there?
Well, you will. I mean, it's so cold, and the days are short. One neat thing is you'll be able to see northern lights because it's so clear. It's absolutely gorgeous because you're up by the Arctic.
I know, I've always wanted to see that.
Yeah. I was able to see them once. It was at the end of August. But the only thing I don't know is if it's blizzardy. I don't know that. I'm assuming. There's storms. I don't know. I don't know how much snow. And then the other thing is, I do know you have to be careful about driving because, you can have precipitation. It might melt, and then you'll get that black ice.
I thought black ice was that slippery stuff you can't see.
Yeah, that you can't see. So that might be like number 3. What kinds of problems might you encounter and why?
Exactly. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Black
And then-
ice is a problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
I have
get
an
that-
uncle.
Slush. I think that's what you're talking about, right? Slush. That stuff that gets wet and cold and gets all
Yeah,
over.
you can see it on the pavement, and then people.
Flip on. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Mhm,
I
Yeah.
actually I had that happen to me one time when I was carrying groceries,
mhm.
and all the groceries went flying everywhere.
Oh,
Yeah,
well.
I actually had that. The sprinkler got the surface wet, and then it froze. And then where was that, Jorge? Was it here?
When I was in China.
Oh,
Mhm,
yeah, that happened once here when I was out running. Boom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah. So, yeah, Jorge, you're muted again. Oh. So what other kinds of problems might we encounter there other than black ice?
Safe driving mode. What the hell?
There's moose roaming around, so you got to be careful about driving, and because they'll go into the street. That is a fact. Yeah.
North.
Heart attack.
The
What?
What?
Heart attack.
Heart attack. Yeah. Like if you're not used to the cold.
Yeah, of course.
Frostbite, right? We talked about
Oh
frostbite.
yes,
You have to be
frostbite.
careful about frostbite.
I wear earmuffs and going back to
What's it
number
called?
one, wear
Hypothermia.
earmuffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's it called?
Hypothermia.
Yeah, hypothermia.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Those are the main things, you know. But then the summers are really, it's daylight all day long.
Mhm.
Great. I love
Yeah.
that.
Crazy.
Yeah. I know. It gives you incentive to want to go up there in the summertime, but then again, I don't think you'll see the northern lights in the summertime.
No, you have to wait till the end of August, early September. Yeah, till it gets dark enough. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Shall we
Okay.
move on? Okay. Shall we move on to question 4? How might we solve the problems that we just talked about?
Well, you better make sure you wear earmuffs when you go outside.
And thermal underwear.
I'm going to teach you an expression. Imagine that you're all foreign students right now and you're in my ESL class, okay? I'm going to teach you an expression. It's an informal expression that people use to describe long thermal underwear. We call them long johns.
Oh, yeah.
Long johns. I'll make it a little bit bigger so you can see it. Long johns.
What is it? What is that? Is that like a idiomatic expression, or what would that
Yeah.
be termed?
Kind of, yeah, but it's used to refer to thermal underwear. So
Is it a colloquialism or?
kinda, yeah. John is the name of a person. It's a man's name in English, and long refers to the long thermal underwear. Yeah.
Long johns. And you may want to have snowshoes just to traverse the terrain so you don't slip.
Yeah. Have you all ever been snowshoeing before? You know what snowshoeing is?
Mm-hmm.
I'll write it down. It's kind of a sport. Snowshoeing. Snowshoeing is when you attach special shoes to your boots. It's like you're given a pair of what looks like a pair of tennis rackets, but you attach them to your boots, and they allow you to walk in very deep snow without sinking. Yeah, so snowshoe is when you put those special shoes on and you go hiking in the snow. Yes, Jorge.
A question for all you guys. What would you say to a student? A student said, "Why do they call it long john?"
Why do they call it long johns? You know, since that just came up now, I didn't plan for it. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and look that up for you.
Yeah, that's
So
the kind of things students would ask me occasionally in China. They're like, "Why is it called this?" And I don't really know.
I know, we don't know
What do you-
either. I would have to go look it up. I would have to Google in front of them.
You know,
Where did long johns come from?
here we
I
go.
didn't have access
Here we
either.
go.
So
Here's the
Google.
answer.
So
Then
what
good
I
luck
would-
for Google.
What I would
Yes,
say was
Google.
just, I'll get back to you tomorrow with answer.
Yep.
no, actually, I think this is, something kind of happened to my session earlier. We were talking about Malcolm X, and then, one student asked me, like, why was he locked in the jail, and said, this is gonna be your assignment that you're gonna share with us like next time. So I told her to to do the research.
Okay.
Yeah, you can always
And
put
why
it up.
I said I would do that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But depends on the levels, because
Yes.
like
What do they call that? What do they call that in the business world? Where you push the work on someone else, but you say it's good for them. What's it called?
Oh gosh.
But it's a good idea. I mean,
Delegate. Delegate, no.
delegate responsibility, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, delegate. Yeah. Okay, so here's the answer to the long johns right here. They were named after a boxer in the 19th century. You know boxing, the sport? And the name of the boxer was called Long John L. Sullivan, and they were his attire in the boxing rings, so people used to call them John L's, and then John L's turned into Long Johns.
Wow.
Yes.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
There you
The
go.
problem with teaching in somewhere like China is that you don't have access to Google, so you get kind of stuck on things like that, and you just have to tell them, "Hey, I'll get back to you. Don't worry."
Oh, is that what it is? You don't have that access?
No,
And
it's not. It's blocked. Like all kinds of
Oh,
sites
Why
are
is
blocked.
access to Google blocked?
Wikipedia is blocked. All that stuff. Is
Why?
this is the communist country.
Oh,
It's censored,
blocked. There you go.
right? Isn't that
Right.
okay?
didn't know
Right.
that.
Yeah.
All right. So,
That was a lot of communication. I just learned a lot of things
Yes.
tonight.
yeah,
I was
so
reminded that China censors everything and what long johns are.
yeah, I know, and that's really the purpose of a course like this. This is a course designed to teach content and vocabulary, but also at the same time building conversational skills. So it's a conversational / content course designed to prepare students for learning content in English later on. Okay. So does anyone have any more answers for number 4?
No.
Or should we just call it a night?
I think that's good. You got some
Okay.
good material.
Yeah, Candace, don't worry about not being so good at this because I'm on Halo and I really suck. I've only got like 21 followers. Some people got.
Oh, yeah,
I'm trying to get to it. Yeah.
I know. I was worrying about this all weekend long because I'm like, how am I going to even do the assignment? Am I going to get a 0?
Yeah, I think it's all right.
Great effort. Well, you know what? This is what all of us have had to do this last 6 or 8 weeks. It's just trying to do the best we can and troubleshoot. Yep.
Mhm. All right. Okay, so does anybody have any further questions?
No, I like the theme though. I love the theme because
Oh, thank you.
it naturally traverses into other areas too.
Yes, like what other areas would you say?
Well, like we just started talking about Northern Lights and Alaska, and then we ended up talking about China because, it was there was a lot of open-ended questions too. So that was what was nice.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, so I'm glad. What'd you say?
Yay, Candace, you're done. You did it, and you
Oh,
learned how
yeah.
to use Zoom.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's like it says my connection with the internet is unstable, so some of you are freezing up, and I have to be okay.
Yeah, the internet isn't great. Yeah.
I know.
Well, hey, congratulations. I'm going to sign off now. Okay.
All right.
Okay, see you all later. Nice meeting you, Jorge.
You
I think
too.
this is.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.